Hi class, we're going to talk a little bit about inheritance hierarchy today. Some of you have already tried to include them in your domain model class diagram, but if not, this is going to help you understand what they are. So here I have a dragon. Dragon is a child and it has two parents, a bird and a lizard. So a dragon is a bird and a lizard. And this is the notation goes from what we call a subclass to a superclass. The question is, how many different attributes do I need to describe an instance of a dragon? There are two here, and two are inherited from this parent, two are inherited from that parent. So 6 different attributes are required to describe a specific instance of a dragon. So they inherit attributes. Excuse me. Now, depending on the language, you may or may not be able to define what we call inheritance hierarchy with multiple parents. If you remember in your 178, you're able to do something like this for interfaces. So just putting the details of a specific language or platform aside, remember that subclasses, they inherit from superclasses, their attributes and behaviors. We haven't talked about behaviors yet, but we're going to talk about them soon. So the dragon here, in fact, has 6 different attributes. What do you put up there in a parent is what is common for all children. So I noticed some of you had done this differently in your domain model class diagram. You put the common attributes there at the top in the parent or in the superclass, and you put what that is unique for the child in the class for that child. This is another example. A sale in general is defined by 6 attributes. Online sale has 2 additional attributes. In a store, 3 additional attributes. Telephone sale, 2 additional attributes. If I needed to define an online sale, I would need 6 attributes that are there in the superclass, and I need values for the other 2. So 8 different attributes need to be given values to. Same for other ones. Look at this example. This is an account. It is saving. It is checking. What is common about accounts is their ID, date they were opened, and balance. What is specific about savings is their interest, and about checking is their style and minimum balance. Now, I was very pleased to see that some of you who had done inheritance hierarchy had already figured this out. If you want to define dependencies, if the dependencies are applicable to the parent, just put the link between the parent and the other class. Don't do it directly to the children unless, excuse me, it is an attribute only for that child. Otherwise, connect parents, not children. So 2 quick notes. One about inheritance, that you inherit attributes or behaviors. And the other one, if you can, set dependencies among parents, among the higher level classes, not their children. This is another example of a class: phone sale, internet sale, store sale. This is the same thing. You just have 2 methods. So here, confirm email only applies to internet sale. Cancel only for store sale. That is something that a staff member on the floor has access to, this feature, cancel sale. And they're all showing the three behaviors that are up there: add item, cancel sale, and make payment. So I might change that this cancel sale is different. So this is actually overriding the parent, meaning that an employee does the cancel sale differently than when you do it yourself on internet or you make a phone call. One other important note here is a general object-oriented programming principle that says all superclasses must be abstract, meaning that you would not be able to define instances of them. Only the children who have no children can have instances. This is a principle that we follow, and it is violated in some places. If you, for example, are creating a new programming language, very likely you will violate this principle. But we're not going there right now. For our purpose, we're going to say all superclasses abstract. You cannot define an instance of them. Children who have no children, those are concrete classes. You can define instances of them. So animal, feline, and canine here are abstract. Now, if this is the hierarchy you're using for a zoo, I cannot go into the zoo information system and I say I want to create a feline. No, it should be very specific. Is it a tiger? Is it a cat or a lion? So the system will ask you what specific subclass you want to create an instance of. It doesn't let you stop here. These are the definitions. And keep in mind that a concept can be concrete in one application, abstract in another application. Now, if the police officer stops your friend for a suspicion of, influence, on driving under influence, the police officer probably doesn't care if you had a 1997 Pinot Noir or something else. So alcoholic beverage is a concrete concept in the police information system. Yes, you don't need more information than that. Now, if you go to a bar, tell the bartender, hey, I want alcoholic drink. They will laugh at you. So there is an inheritance hierarchy there. It starts with a superclass called alcoholic drink, and it goes to beers, wine, and other types, and it goes down, and you have to be very specific what exactly you want. So alcoholic drink, because there is superclass, is an abstract concept. I have a few examples for you here, and I want you to tell me if this concept tree is concrete or abstract is in a golf cart simulation. Is it concrete or abstract is in a tree nursery application? And if it's concrete, give me an example of abstract on this side, or if it's abstract, give me an example of an application in which this concept is concrete on the other side. Let me start here. A tree is concrete in a golf cart simulation. A tree is just a tree. You don't need to specify details of a tree. You just want to know it's a tree and you don't want to hit it. A tree is not a concrete concept in tree nursery application. You can't just walk in and say, I want a tree. There are categories, and you have to go down the hierarchy and specify what exactly you need. Now think about a house in an architect application. Is it concrete or abstract? If it's concrete, give me an example of abstract. If it's abstract, give me an example of an application in which this is the other. And also think about your application and see if we can identify examples of inheritance hierarchy. Some of you already have done this, and I'm so proud of you. Talk to you later.